What's up, guys? Brian here. I wanted to do a quick little update video on basically where we're at with the sale of the duplex, and also wanted to do kind of like an update on what direction we're heading. And so the duplex is pending sale. I did a live stream maybe a month or two ago. I talked about how we had gotten an offer. It was owner financing. We ended up not accepting that offer because basically the route we wanted to go, we couldn't accept that offer because the bank wouldn't count our agreement until there was 12 months worth of payments. But we lowered the price 10 G's. We had an open house. We got an offer before the open house for the full price of what we lowered it to, $415. What's up, Blake? What's up, Chris? And so we got that offer. It's going to be pending tonight probably. So that's pretty sweet. I want to walk you through this side of the duplex. Many of you guys haven't even seen it, so I just figured I'd walk you through it and kind of, tell you some of the stuff that I did to make it where people could buy it and, and look at it. So our tenants moved out. As soon as they found out that we were listing the duplex, they're like, oh crap, we don't want another landlord, so now we got to go find a place. So then they decided to basically buy a house, which is super awesome for them. Happy for them. Glad they finally got a house, and it's really nice. And they're moving up in the world, and I'm happy for them. But they moved out, so it left me into kind of a position, basically, because now I gotta carry the full mortgage myself because nobody's living in this side. But at the same time, not bad, because now I can clean this side up and show it, right? And so that's where we're at. So I'm gonna take you through this side of the duplex. You can kind of see what we did and what we did to kind of prepare this side. So, when people came through, it was presentable. So without further ado, here is the laundry room. Nothing special about this room, just kind of cleaned everything. What's up, Armo? What's up, Kyle? This garage, we painted it, kind of rough painted it. You can still see the roof, like the ceiling. It wasn't a finished finish. So we put some paint on it, just about one coat. Made it a little bit brighter in here because it was kind of that tan color. My wife was painting this. Still needs some more touch-up work. You can see right here the flooring, right? So, some things that I think make this more homely. When you're going to sell an empty duplex, like if it looks empty, it doesn't feel as homely, right? So I added a few things, like a little rug, a little towel. These are important. These little smelly things. As soon as you walk in, it feels like, fresh, So this was all carpet where this new flooring is. And if you go onto any modern magazine or anything like that, this carpet is like the trending thing. This gray wood in Washington. It's like the hot item, I guess. That in stainless steel, right? So we replaced the fridge. The old fridge, is kind of broken down, had duct tape holding it together. So we replaced that. Our tenants before us, they put their own fridge in because they didn't even like the fridge we had there, But so I did this flooring myself. I put a new coat of paint on the deck. You can see still It's kind of nice looking. It's got a little bit of dirt on it now. There's another placemat. Mowed the lawn. I put an extra light in here because whoever designed this living room, like, they did not put a light on the ceiling in the living room, which is the lamest thing I've ever seen, you know? Very bright lights in the bathroom because people want to see their face and stuff, you know? Look at that. Another air freshener. As soon as they walk in the door, they can smell this air freshener. And it smells so good. It's like a clean linen smell, you know? Take you upstairs real quick. So this is also another thing I did. You can't really tell, but this bottom step, I replaced the carpet on this bottom step. This carpet it's like a 10-year-old carpet. Okay, I know it doesn't look like it, but it's 10 years old. And it gets like these little snags like this. And if they had a dog, their dog kind of pulled at some of the threads and it just totally toasted that bottom step. Same with the one in the living room. There was a small snag right there and it just totally ghosted this whole floor. So it's not the tenant's fault. It's not the dog's fault. It's kind of my fault because I knew it was a potential hazard, like something that could have went wrong, and I didn't really do anything to fix it. Like I could have, burned the ends or, tucked it in a little bit better or glued the end, so the snag wouldn't get snagged, but it did. But that's okay. It happens. As long as you kind of prepare for that kind of thing. Oh, there's another air freshener. We don't need that on. This one's not as bright of light. It's more of a warm feeling to it. I replaced this whole bathtub 3 years ago. This is a very nice bathtub. It cost me like $600, I think, to put it in. And I'll tell you right now, I will never, ever replace one of these myself again. It was so hard, and it literally took me and my grandpa and another guy to do it, and it was just the biggest pain in my life ever. What's the Justin Sturgill showerhead mod? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, no, this is a very good money maker, this duplex, because the average rent in Graham right now is about $1,800 to $1,500, right? Very big, bedrooms and stuff. I know it doesn't really look like it with this camera, but it's pretty big. I'm gonna have to look that up. I mean, it's got some things, some small things to it, The flow restrictor out of it. They got some cable and stuff. Okay, switch this back around. So that's basically this side of the duplex, and our side is exactly identical except for the opposite, basically. One of the main things is you want to clean everything. Like, you think there's a certain level of clean, right? That your house can be clean. Then when you go to sell something, it needs to be that much higher. It needs to look like it's brand new, right? Oops, forgot this light. I was given some advice by kind of an old landlord friend, who owned a house next to my first house that I bought. He owned the next house over, and he was a landlord, and he owned that property, and my buddy was renting it out, and so on and so forth. And he ended up selling that when we were living in our house. And he gave me some advice. And his advice was basically treat it like, okay, let's say I'm selling it for $415,000, which I did. He said, treat it like a $415,000 deal. Treat it like that, you know, and you will make that much money. But if you don't treat it like a $415,000 deal, then you're not gonna make that kind of money, right? Another thing I did, I replaced this right here. I replaced that faucet because the old one was constantly dripping and it looked like crap, right? And this one even has a plate washer, right? Which was super easy. That cost me like $50, but I guarantee you, see how it shines? People love that. People love how shiny that is. Let me show you the old one. I think I still got it in this trash can. Oh, the garage light's out. Well, let me see if I can find it in here real quick. I'll just show you. And let me tell you what. So this thing was the biggest pain in the butt. Okay. So this thing, see how nasty that is? I mean, these things get nasty, right? I mean, you can try your best to clean them, but what I've always found is, see the inside? The inside of that always gets kind of nasty. I don't know how it does that. It's not really daylight. I mean, it's getting dark, Blake. It's getting dark. I mean, there is daylight. It's getting kind of dark though. Okay. So, the duplex is pending. We got a full price offer on it after we lowered the price. So we were trying to get $425. We got one offer. It was the owner financing, and that wasn't working. So we lowered the price $10,000. That's what our agent suggested. And we got a full price offer on $415,000, right? Now you guys are gonna ask me, well, where am I gonna live? Right? Where am I gonna live? Because we haven't bought a place. So what we did was we worked into the deal a lease agreement that allows us, it gives us a new lease with a new owner to rent for 1 year. Our plan is to rent for 1 year, and while we're renting, we're gonna be building our house. So with the money we're making on this, I've already talked to Timberland Bank. It's a local bank, and they're getting me pre-approved for a new construction loan. And so we're gonna start building our own home. So I wanted to take you through a little bit of how that works. And I'm gonna be 100% honest, like, I really don't know how it works, but this is how we've started the process, right? So first step was we went to the bank and we said, hey, we wanna do a new house. We wanna build a house, right? He says, okay, we're gonna get you approved for a certain amount. You know, what kind of money are you wanting to spend, and so on and so forth, right? In order to tell him what I wanted to spend, I kind of had to do some shopping, right? So we had went on Highline Homes. It's one of the home builders here in Washington. They're pretty known. It's one of the regular home builders that you see all the time, you know, that build, you know, custom homes and stuff. And so I went on their website. We started looking at the plans, and this was 3 years ago, okay? And I still, to this day, have this floor plan. Let me show you. This floor plan and this picture of this house, this exact house, when we went 3 years ago on the internet to find a house that we wanted, this is the one we found and we wanted. And we were like, this is the one that fits us. It's not big. It's only 1,200 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, right? So you can see the floor plan. You know, it's not nothing crazy. It's a small house, right? So this was our goal 3 years ago. When we first moved into the duplex, we're like, we're going to save up money and we're going to pay cash for this house. And that was our goal 3 years ago. You know, I can show you the paper that's still stapled to the wall. And back then it was $103,000 for that exact house. Now inflation's hit, and now this house is $126,000, right? The base price, base plan. So I went to Highline Homes, and I talked with them, and we're getting the process started. So the first thing they did was they gave me what's called a home order form, which basically tells me rough estimate. This is how much they're going to charge me for the house. So this is the home order form, right? So the base plan is $115,000. $115,000 basically, right? And that's for standard everything. Right? Standard everything, okay? Standard everything. Right? With the tax and everything, you come out to a grand total of $126,814. So, you guys are going to say, well, that's crazy price, $126,000 to build a house. That's amazing, this and that and this and that. Well, here's the catch. So that price is only the house itself. It includes nothing outside of the house. It doesn't include hookups. It doesn't include the septic system. It doesn't include utilities. All it is just the house alone. Just the walls, the roof. It doesn't even include paint on the house, right? It doesn't include appliances. Has no appliances, right? So our new construction loan can't be for $126,000, right? So we have to go and we have to figure out how much the other costs are going to be, right? We got to pay for permits for the septic system. We got to pay for permits for the building, the driveway, and all that stuff has to be engineered, you know, and all that type of stuff. So basically, the price tag for our new home that we're going to pay to have this house built on our property is roughly around $200,000, right? So we got this duplex is sold. Yeah, I got that down, Blake. You're right about that. And I'll be doing that myself. I'm not going to farm that out to anybody. So that's pretty sweet. So basically, the first step to building your house is you got to go to the bank and you got to get like basically a rough estimate pre-approval, right? Then you got to go to Highline or whoever your home builder is and say, hey, how much is this going to cost? They tell you how much it's going to cost. Then you go back to the bank and you get the actual number, right? And the way this loan works, the way the loan works that I'm getting is I don't have to pay nothing until we start the actual building, right? And then then it's interest only payments until the house is complete. So let's say we get our $50,000 lumber package first, you know, after the second week or something, let's just say. I don't know what the timeline is. I'm just guessing. And then once that hits, then I give them a voucher and I say, here you go. Then I have to pay interest only payments on that $50,000 as soon as it's spent. Then I have to pay interest, you know, for basically a new construction is anywhere from 9 months to 12 months. It is basically the average from what I've heard. So the first 3 months is going to be permits, right? We're going to be working on getting a site development plan for the septic system, the driveway, clearing and everything. So that's basically how that's going to work. Then the second plan is then Highline's going to come in and they're going to slap this house together in 6 months roughly. I guess that's the advertised, time frame. But that's only the time frame it takes them to build the house. That doesn't include the septic system or anything else. So they say on average it's 9 to 12 months basically to build a home, like a custom home. That's really not custom, it's just bare bones, right? And they give you a whole bunch of cool things, like Puget Sound, this pricing list and stuff. I have not been pre-approved yet, Justin. The bank is working on that. I should get my pre-approval letter by Tuesday. Monday is a holiday. The banks don't work on holidays. I'm working Monday. They don't work Monday. So we're getting pre-approved. We should have that pre-approval letter Tuesday. That's the plan. And another question, where the land lot, basically I inherited 5 acres from my grandfather. Long story short, I bought 5 acres from my cousin who couldn't afford to pay the taxes for a very discounted amount. I own 1 parcel. That's how it worked out, right? I convinced my family to let him sell his to me, and basically they said yes. He sold it to me. He made a lot of money for him, and I got a piece of property that I wanted. So that's how that worked out. So basically this property has been in my family for 5 or 6 generations, roughly, right? And I'm gonna do I've talked a little bit about it, but not a whole lot. But anyways, so we're gonna go with Highline Homes. I'm gonna take you guys along the journey. It's exciting and it's crazy. And I'm a little nervous, because things are coming through. And okay, so here's a little update. The insurance for the dump truck is staying the same. I haven't found somebody who's willing to write an insurance policy for $5 million yet, an umbrella policy. So I've reached out to literally like 6 or 7 companies, and they're all working on it, but none of them have gotten back to me yet. I talked with the builder, or with the company that's asking me to get the policy, and he's trying to find some sort of loophole or something, or maybe they can help me pay for the insurance, because sometimes they do that. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Yeah. Well, Justin, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the construction loan, because the duplex is pretty much sold, and I already gave him all my tax stuff, and he seems really happy. Like, he seems like really positive about us getting the loan, and definitely for more than what we're going to need. So we're still waiting on the insurance guys to get back. Honestly, if I could find somebody who would give me a $5 million policy for what they said they could, $7,500, then I would pay it, and we would be back out at Hoodsport working. But until then, I had a lot of small gigs. I dredged out 3 ponds the other day. I had my cousin Brandon. He was clearing some blackberry vines. Tomorrow, I'm going to be clearing some land right up the road. So we had a lot of small little projects. Dump trucking's kind of slowed down over here because the rain, rainy season is here, and basically, it's gotten really cold really quick. Like the past week or 2, it's been cold. Thanks, Sheila. The duplex should be pending tonight. So we're excited about that. We didn't get the $425 sale price that we wanted, but $415, we still clear $100,000 after everything is said and done with everything. So we're still where we want to be. So there's that. So about 6 months ago or so, 7 months ago, when I first started doing land clearing on the property, I talked with the Mason County planner about it, and I got basically planning program permit fees. And basically, you know, here's just some idea of the Mason County planning fees. Here's what they came up with. Stuff like this. There's so much stuff. Oh, this is the second page. This is the first page. The bank rant. Probably, Justin. Maybe not. We'll see. So here's a grading application. If you're going to grade more than 50 yards, then there's a fee for it. This is just stupid. You know, I just don't understand why you have to pay the county to move dirt on your own property. Like, is that retarded? Who can tell me that is retarded? Like, if you move more than 50 yards, which is 2 dump truck loads, so it's literally 2 piles of dirt this high. If you move 2 of those, then you have to pay the county to move your own dirt. Is that retarded? That's freaking retarded. What are they worried about? People burying bodies or something? Yeah, the government is a cartel, dude. You got that right. So here's another one here's another piece of paper. I'm going to show you this, basically. This is it's called the SEPA checklist, right? It's some SEPA, some sort of government checklist they have you fill out. It's basically environmental checklist, right? Let me turn this camera around. So this is the SEPA environmental checklist, right? So purpose of the checklist: government agencies use this checklist to help determine whether the environment impacts of your proposal are significant, blah, blah, blah. They want to know if they can charge you money for doing stupid stuff. You know, they want to know what you're doing, what you plan on doing, how is it going to affect, you know, the habitat, how is it going to affect your neighbors, this and that. And, you know, like, seriously, if you're building a single house, you literally have almost no effect. So, but anyways, you have to fill this out. It's 11 pages of just nonsense. Like, what's the steepest slope on your property? Or, you know, that kind of stuff. Then you got here, land modification permit, right? This is basically a permit saying, I'm going to modify the land, you know, and this is another few $100s or whatever. It's just more money you have to pay to the government. You know, just tons of paperwork, you know. So we got this. So I'm going to take you guys through the steps, basically, of how it works in Washington. Obviously, every state's going to be different, but I can take you through the basics of, you know, what building a custom home is going to be like, what you can look forward to, and how much money you can expect to spend on a very, very low budget build. Because that's basically what we're doing. We're building the cheapest plan Highline Home offers for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Right? 1,200 square feet. So nothing crazy, nothing big, you know, just same as what we got basically right here. The other side of the duplex is 1,200 square feet. This side is 1,200 square feet. This is the good size for our family. It's nothing big at all, but it's big enough for our family, you know, and that's where we're at. Any questions? Justin, I watched your video about you calling out the guys. Good on you for that, you know. I think there should be a lot more of that going on. You know, there's a lot of fake people out there, you know, that are trying to take your money, and I think it's ridiculous sometimes, you know, some of the things people do. And I think people should give honest tool reviews, you know, because people are spending their hard, very hard earned money on that stuff. And, you know, I'm too cheap to buy the good stuff, so I need real reviews on crappy tools, you know. Yeah, TY. Guaranteed that's gonna happen. Guaranteed. And then here's the catch, and here's the kicker. Then you have to pay another filing fee, you know, or it gets delayed another 3 months because you missed a comma in your sentence or some bull crap like that, you know. So it's I have a few friends who have just built homes, so they're kind of helping me through the process. Not really, but kind of a little bit. They're telling me kind of, you know, some things to expect, you know, some little I gotcha moments, you know, like apparently Highline doesn't do the hookups, you know, which is kind of expensive if you pay somebody, that type of stuff. Anyways, so that's where we're at, guys. Once this duplex sells, like, then we're renting again. It's gonna be insane. So we'll see how that goes. What do you guys think? Dang, that was quick, Sheila. How big was the house that you guys built? And property in Florida is way cheap. Can I just say that? Way cheap. How big was your lot? Do you guys hear that echo when I'm talking? Because this is super echoey in here. Oh, you bought it on a lake too? I need to come over and visit. That'd be super cool. Meet Carl, and his dad's still alive, I believe, right? I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, dude, but they have good weather there. And it'd be cool to see alligators every day. I've seen a picture of an alligator climbing a fence. Like, that is the most, like a chain link fence. Does that happen, Sheila, in Florida? Do they actually climb chain link fences? Like, how tall can they climb a fence? Like, how tall does the fence have to be where they can't climb it? Yeah, Chuck's the one I want to meet. I talked to him on the phone. I'd like to meet Carl too, though. They entered your house? Am I reading this right? They went into your house? Like, what do you do if you walk into your kitchen and there's like a 10-foot alligator sitting on the floor? Like, my first instinct would be to go for my handgun and shoot the thing. I'm sure there's some sort of animal control or something. I'm excited, Justin, to see those new videos you're gonna put out about the Harbor Freight stuff. I mean, I normally don't buy Harbor Freight stuff. I normally don't buy any tools, really. I just try and, my grandpa gives me tools, you know, and they're normally Harbor Freight junk, or, you know, from like a yard sale or something. That's normally where I get my stuff. But I'm excited to see how well they hold up to the trucking industry side of things, you know, us professional hacks, as Justin likes to say. Let me shut these lights off. All right, guys. I think I've told you quite a bit on what the update is. Sorry I haven't put out any good content in the past 2 weeks. I'm just so busy with everything. Life's so crazy. If they're over 6 feet, holy cow. So what if it's 5.5 feet? Like, how do you tell? You just look at it and you're like, oh, nothing's. You have to remove it yourself if it's under 5 feet? Like, what do you do? That seems insane. Seems really insane. Also, I plan on doing a video like excavating contractor basics or something like that. Tell me what you guys think. Would that be a good video? Like show like some of the basic tools you're gonna want to have if you're installing something. I bet those guys are busy all day long. Anyways, guys, it's getting kind of late. I'm gonna head off. I'll catch you on the next one though.